Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, January 28th, imply that Nicole Dupree will give Kat Richardson an earful, while Leslie Thomas sets a trap for someone. While Leslie's target is not named, it's hard not to think that Shanice Johnson will be the lucky one on her radar. Leslie hates how close Shanice has gotten to Ted Richardson, so will she do something that affects the nurse at work? Then again, as Joey Armstrong has a piece of evidence on a flash drive that he's hanging over his new partner's head. Could Leslie attempt something against her new partner? Only time will tell. Across town, Martin Richardson worries about Bradley "Smitty" Smith. Smitty will stay out all night and won't return until the morning, so there will be a cause for concern. Will Smitty reveal what he's up to? He's on a case with Jacob Hawthorne, but likely can't come clean with specifics. However, will Martin understand? Speaking of Jacob, he'll get into it with Elon Hawthorne. His dad is super worried about his undercover mission, so Elon may continue to plead with Jacob to forget about the case and work on something else. But will his son listen? Probably not, as Jacob's goal is to never back down or give up when it comes to nailing criminals, so there's nothing stopping this cop's momentum. Meanwhile, Beyond the Gates spoilers note that Naomi Hawthorne will continue to lie to Jacob about her BRCA test results. It sounds like there is trouble on the horizon for these two if Naomi keeps this up. Elsewhere, Vernon Dupree gets kicked out of his own home. It's unlikely that he and Anita Dupree will get into a major argument that prompts her to boot him out of the mansion. So will she organize a surprise for her husband? He's been so dedicated and supportive to her, she may want to show him how much she appreciates him. Lastly, Nicole will give Kat a piece of her mind. Kat was rubbed the wrong way during the Tuesday, January 27th episode when she saw her mom looking sizzling hot in her dress at Uptown and flirting up a storm with Dr. Kial Rollins at the bar. This is out of the norm for Nicole, but the therapist has been through a lot the past few months and deserves to have some fun. It sounds like Kat may try to put her mom on blast, but Nicole will stand firm and not apologize for letting a little loose. She may also tell Kat to mind her own business. Beyond the Gates spoilers note that the Wednesday, January 28th episode will be filled with shocking moments, a little romance, and some campy fun, so it'll be a show fans won't want to miss. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the next 4 months of 2026 promise, there will be a surprising engagement up ahead, while Danny Dupree will have a husband dilemma. Plus, there will be special guest stars to look forward to and so much more. BTG's creator and head writer, Michelle Valjean, recently had a chat with TV Insider and offered a preview of what's ahead. First off, Valjean talked about how Anita Dupree's breast cancer has taken center stage on the soap since the year began. The good news is that Anita will recover. However, the bad news is that it's going to be hard and painful. The show is offering a true representation of what a cancer survivor endures, so viewers will be there for the good, the bad, and the ugly of what Anita goes through. In addition, Vernon Dupree will be there for his wife to lean on. Speaking of Anita's condition, Naomi Hamilton won't fill Jacob Hawthorne in about her BRCA gene test results. What will happen to this super couple? Valjean says that this situation will either make them or break them, and hints about a controversy that will arise between the two. Meanwhile, both Dupree sisters will have their respective love triangles. Nicole Dupree will juggle Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald and Dr. Kial Rollins, as Danny tries to deal with feelings for her ex-husband, Bill Hamilton, while also fostering her relationship with new husband, Andre Richardson. For Nicole, she'll struggle to decide between the safety and security Carlton brings and the new and exciting vibe that Kial has. For Danny, her mom's cancer diagnosis and her BRCA gene discovery triggered her and Bill's 30-year bond. But Danny does adore Andre, so it'll be interesting to see who both sisters choose when all is said and done. Beyond the Gates spoilers hint that Ted Richardson and Shanice Johnson's romance will continue to grow closer. While Leslie Thomas will still enjoy Detective Marcel Malone's company, her obsession with Ted will cause issues for him and Shanice. Speaking of Bill, his wife, Haley Hamilton, will remain focused on her plan to off her husband, but thanks to all the delays, she'll also remain frustrated. With that said, this doesn't mean she'll give up, and according to Valjean, Haley expects to see a payoff, and she won't stop until she does. In addition, sparks will continue to fly between Ashley Morgan and Grayson Perez, but it won't take long until BTG viewers see a major obstacle develop between the two. Val Jean also teased about trouble brewing between Catherine "Cat" Richardson and Tomas Navarro. Cat will develop a friendship with another character, a male, on the canvas, just as issues arise between her and Tomas. Interestingly enough, Eva Thomas and Isaiah Hawthorne will also experience some bumps in the road. In fact, something will unravel that brings them together in another couple's orbit. Will Kat and Isaiah become close? In other news, a shocking engagement will go down for one twosome in and around Valentine's Day, while another unexpected duo will do the deed. Once April rolls around, Val Jean teases that another big musical guest will appear for a performance, but didn't reveal a name, so only time will tell. Beyond the Gates spoilers note that the next 4 months will be filled with fun, surprises, romance, and plenty of drama, so fans the young and the restless spoilers promise a massive crossover event with Beyond the Gates that includes 6 major GC characters heading to Fairmont Crest for a multi-episode storyline. CBS announced the landmark daytime drama event at the Television Critics Association Beyond the Gates panel on Tuesday, January 27th, and sent out a press release. So let's unpack all the interesting details. This isn't the first time BTG has had a crossover storyline with one of its sister soaps. However, it is the first time so many major players from Genoa City will be involved. In August 2025, Devin Hamilton Winters popped by the gated community for one episode and interacted with Anita Dupree, Vernon Dupree, and Danny Dupree. Meanwhile, in October 2025, The Bold and the Beautiful's Ridge Forrester was on canvas for 2 episodes. However, all his scenes were him talking on the phone, so he was still in LA. This crossover, which is scheduled to take place in June, seems like a horse of a different color. So, who from Genoa City will arrive in Fairmont Crest? Well, Devin will return, along with his wife, Abby Newman Abbott Winters, and her father, Victor Newman, and his wife, Nikki Newman, will also be in attendance. In addition, Victor's rival, Jack Abbott, Diane Abbott, and Kyle Abbott will all be there too. It turns out Victor is a longtime friend of Vernon Dupree. In fact, Victor backed Vernon's political campaigns over the years, while Vernon fought for legislation that would help Newman Enterprises. Their alliance is tight and has been built on loyalty, trust, and mutual respect. With that said, Victor will act as a keynote speaker for Martin Richardson's political fundraiser. In an interesting twist, Kyle will be invited to Martin's fundraiser, as these two are also longtime friends who met in New York City after college. Kyle will arrive in Fairmont Crest and bring his parents, Jack and Diane, along for the ride. Beyond the Gates fans know how tight Anita and Devin are, so he and Abby will be her special VIP guests for the big event. Still, it sounds like Anita will stun Devin with a shocking business opportunity. In addition, the CBS media release states that as the fundraiser unfolds, an unexpected event occurs that abruptly derails the big party and creates dramatic consequences that impact everyone at the function. The young and the restless spoilers hint that this Beyond the Gates crossover storyline will set the stage for some major chaos, so fans will need to catch all the craziness in June as the worlds of Genoa City and Fairmont Crest collide. Seated at an uptown table with Tomas, Kat is stunned to see her glammed-up mom sitting at the bar. So imagine her reaction when Kial walks up and joins her. Nicole and the handsome Doc bond over drinks as they get to know one another better. Kat, meanwhile, doesn't seem all that into her mom's attempt to reboot her life. She's not particularly thrilled to see Nicole hanging with a guy who looks like he just stepped off the set of Grey's Anatomy. When Kat says it must feel to Nicole as if the ground is shifting under her feet, Tomas wonders if his girlfriend might be speaking about herself too. Kat admits it's true, thanking him for being her rock. As for Kial and Nicole, they eventually discuss Carlton, aka his competition. Kial points out that if Carlton was a threat, she wouldn't be drinking alone. Madison and Chelsea start what the doctor knows is going to be a difficult conversation, given her girlfriend's recent behavior. Chelsea says she doesn't want to go back to her party girl ways, but admits she misses the sense of freedom and doesn't want to be judged. Madison insists that if she's holding Chelsea back from being who she wants to be, she'll walk away. Madison doesn't know how to fix the fact that opposites don't necessarily work. Chelsea kinda sorta accidentally proposes. Her spontaneity isn't particularly convincing to Madison, who says it's fear, not love, before walking away. Joey welcomes Lance, the guy who got rough with Vanessa because his wife was dating one of her escorts, to the back room. It starts as deceptively friendly, but ends with Joey warning that if Lance so much as breaths Vanessa's name, he'll kill the dude. Meanwhile, Danny meets Vanessa at the club, but only after Bill makes some rather inappropriate remarks about his ex-wife dressing, he assumes, to please him. Vanessa marvels at how a man can be so full of himself and pathetic at the same time. Once he exits, Vanessa says that she is all for Bill choking on the bitter pill of regret, but adds Danny shouldn't get caught up in the game. Danny heads home to Andre, and Lolly, aka Lance's wife, shows up to apologize to Vanessa for his behavior. The two women agree to basically protect one another, after which Lolly takes her husband to task, and he, seeing the blonde, beats a hasty retreat. Vanessa later shows up at the club, where Joey notices how bad the bruise she got from Lance has become. He tells her not to minimize it, swearing, "On everything I hold sacred, that you will never be hurt by my business again." Joey lets Vanessa think that he didn't confront Lance, even as she assumes the reason Lolly's husband practically ran out of the club was because of her threat to ruin them socially. After Haley and Andre cross at the coffee shop, he makes it clear she's not someone he wants to hang out with. Haley tries bonding with Andre over sob stories, but that doesn't go well. He heads home to a romantic evening with his wife. Haley sends a sexy text to Bill, unaware he's caught up in memories of his time with Danny. Haley slips into something sexy and tries seducing Bill, only to be ticked off when he starts snoring. As she fumes, we realize that her husband is only pretending to be asleep. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, January 28th, indicate some bombshells up ahead in Fairmont Crest. Leslie Thomas sets a trap, while Martin Richardson worries about Bradley Smitty Smith. Plus, Nicole Dupree puts Catherine Cat Richardson in her place. Find out more about Tuesday's episode below. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, January 28th. Hint that Leslie will set up a trap for a nemesis. However, teasers don't say who her victim will be. With that said, Leslie's been at odds with two people lately, Shanice Johnson and Joey Armstrong. Joey has blackmail hanging over Leslie's head, while Shanice is dating Ted Richardson. So will Leslie's victim for this trap be on Wednesday's show? Only time will tell. Speaking of Ted, his ex-wife and his daughter will be at odds. But it sounds like Nicole will refuse to put up with Kat's bratty ways and put her in her place. How will Kat react to this? Across town, Martin will worry about Smitty when his husband doesn't come home all night. It sounds like Smitty will be on the case with Jacob Hawthorne, but will he come clean to his husband about where he is at? Meanwhile, Jacob will deal with his own drama when he clashes with his dad, Elon Hawthorne. In other Jacob news, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday imply that Naomi Hawthorne will continue to lie to her husband about her BRCA test results. Will these lies cause a ripple in their marriage once the truth comes out? Lastly, Vernon Dupree will get kicked out of the house. Is this because of an argument with Anita Dupree, or for a fun reason? What are you most looking forward to during Wednesday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tune into Beyond the Gates Daily for all the Fairmont Crest drama, and visit CTS regularly for the hottest BTG updates, spoilers, and news. The Thursday, January 29th, spoilers for Beyond the Gates focus on an altercation between Derek and Grayson, and it's up to Ashley to prevent it from veering out of control. In other equally dramatic news, Bill's attempt to reminisce with Vernon is instead met with disdain, and Eva's worried about Leslie. Derek is having problems adjusting to life without Ashley. His problem is that he can't do it. It's maddening to him that she has already started moving on, and he is choosing to be really awful about it. He ran to her mother and dropped Ashley's news in her lap before she could tell her mom herself. He then crashed Ashley and Grayson's daytime date at Orphe Jean's and made himself comfortable at their table. He's creating awkward moments because his ego can't handle the fact that his former fiancée wants nothing to do with him. On Thursday, it gets worse. Ashley referees an altercation between Derek and Grayson. Before she can stop the clash in its tracks, how bad does it get? According to the weekly spoilers, Leslie's mood makes her daughter wary of what's to come. Leslie is all up in her feelings over Shanice growing closer to Ted. And this may also be about potentially not getting her way with Joey about the name of the free clinic. But it's highly likely that this mood is about Shanice and Ted. Eva probably has a right to be worried. She knows what her mom is capable of, and if she resorts to some of the things she did when going after Nicole, then everybody needs to be worried. Is Leslie in danger of going nuclear? And how will Eva respond? Hopefully, she will give Ted a heads up immediately. Lately, all of Bill's thoughts have been about Danny. When she kissed him the other day, it left him hot and bothered. And now Bill has no time for his wife. He has no time for Haley, and even pretended to be asleep when she got home recently. As for Vernon, he's struggling as he supports Anita through her cancer journey. But she is pushing back against his overprotective tendencies, and it's resulting in the power couple clashing, so he has to be feeling helpless and super impatient. That may be why Bill's attempt to reminisce with Vernon is instead met with disdain. Vernon's struggling. Will Bill be able to help his former father-in-law? On Thursday, the Dupree women focus on business. Look for Chelsea and Kat to prep for their Fenmore's meeting. Bill got this as a Christmas gift for Chelsea, and now it looks like it's happening. Is Lauren Fenmore about to cross over into the land of Fairmont Crest? When Danny and Pamela spotted Isaiah from afar, they knew he would be right for their upcoming modeling gig. Danny propositions Isaiah, probably in a way only Danny can. Something tells us that it will take some convincing to get him to cross over into the modeling world. He's happy with his job at Banneker. The Duprees and Victor Newman will be mixing come June, thanks to a crossover with Beyond the Gates, which will bring the young and the restless, most powerful businessman to Fairmont Crest, along with 5 more Genoa City locals. CBS announced the landmark daytime television event at the perfect time. While half the U.S. is dealing with an abundance of snow, we can at least look forward to a summer plot that's going to be ripe with drama. While we were hoping the next BTG-YNR crossover would bring Chelsea Cat into Lauren Fenmore's orbit, CBS was cooking up a summer arc that has the soap world talking. The network has grounded the new daytime drama in the same universe as its long-running series, B&B and YNR. But the story they have simmering for June is set to be the biggest crossover yet. Apparently, Vernon and Victor have been close friends for years. They had a mutually beneficial political alliance when Vernon was in the Senate. Victor backed the congressman's campaigns, while Vernon supported legislation that favored Newman Enterprises' business endeavors. Their powerful partnership led to much success and influence for them both. Though Vernon is no longer a sitting senator, he's been spending his political capital on his grandson, Martin, and he's called in a favor with Victor. He's asked his friend to be the keynote speaker at Martin's fundraiser, but Martin has invited his own guests, as has his grandmother, Anita Dupree. Aside from Victor, Kyle will also attend the fundraiser. The Abbott heir has been friends with Martin since their post-college days, when they were both living in New York City. Martin's invitation to the fundraiser has brought Kyle's parents, Jack and Diane, to Fairmont Crest as well. Given the bad blood between the family and Victor, viewers can likely anticipate some tense moments and thinly veiled barbs. But the fundraiser isn't only a chance for Martin to hobnob. Anita is handling business. She's ensured Devin and Abby are on the VIP list too. Anita has an unexpected opportunity for Devin that he'll be fielding. The last time he was in town, he walked away eager to pursue signing Tracy and Sharon to his label, an offer from Anita to be a featured artist on a few tracks, and the possibility of re-releasing the Articulates' album, Let's Get Closer, with Barbara's vocals on the record. Devin could go home with much more this time around. Of course, this multi-episode crossover isn't going to be all glad-handing and lovely reunions. A shocking event is set to occur as well. It will upend the fundraiser and have the kind of dramatic consequences that'll impact everyone in attendance, including the Dupree's guests from Genoa City. Buckle up, soap fans, we're in for a treat. Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates on Thursday, 29th, 2026. This is a major milestone event for the girls of Chelsea Cat. The pair wants to establish themselves as high-end fashion designers and move beyond the influencer phase. Having their luxury purse line available in a store such as Fenmore's will go a long way towards cementing their status as a household name. Luckily for them, Bill pulled some strings to set up this meeting and present their brand to one of the most prestigious names in the soap universe. In Thursday's episode, Chelsea and Kat prep for their Fenmore's meeting. In Thursday's episode, Ashley referees an altercation between Derek and Grayson. Seriously, this is all played out and just tiresome now. Derek needs to accept he has lost Ashley and find happiness elsewhere, like with that firefighter lady he was kissing not long ago. Leave Ashley to make her own mistakes and live her life. In Thursday's episode, Danny propositions Isaiah and makes a move to secure new talent for the modeling agency that she and her bestie Pamela started. In Thursday's episode, Bill's attempt to reminisce with Vernon is instead met with disdain. One moment, the Duprees are making nice with Bill when it suits them, and then, as soon as that need is met, they turn the cold shoulder again. They always seem to forget that Vernon made these things happen as much as Bill did. He is just a reminder of the time Vernon took darker paths. Vernon, not with words, made his intent for Kenny very clear to those who would make it a reality. In Thursday's episode, Leslie's mood makes her daughter wary of what's to come. Seeing Shanice with Ted has definitely pushed Leslie's buttons, and we all know what she is capable of. The name Laura is a testament to what happens when Leslie feels threatened. Make sure to check out The Scoop and the next week sneak peek for a deeper look into what's to come this week and what you have to look forward to from your favorite characters and not-so-favorite characters in the DMV. Beyond the Gates fans are in for a busy June. CBS has lined up a crossover that brings some well-known faces from The Young and the Restless into the show's gated world. The whole thing plays out inside Fairmont Crest, and it mixes familiar characters with new stories waiting to open up. Keep scrolling to see what's coming. The network confirmed that 6 actors from the Genoa City world will be taking part in the June episodes. Eric Braeden, Michael Mealer, Melissa Ordway, Peter Bergman, Susan Walters, and Brighton James are all set to appear. Elsewhere, this will be the second time that both soaps have connected, and it's after Devin Winters showed up last August. The story begins with Vernon Dupree and Victor Newman crossing paths again. They will meet at a political fundraiser that will be held inside Fairmont Crest. The two share a long relationship that has been built around support, trust, and power. Victor has backed Vernon's campaigns over the years, and Vernon has pushed for laws that worked well for Newman Enterprises. However, now Vernon wants Victor to be the keynote speaker at his grandson Martin's fundraiser. Kyle and Martin are also in the middle of things. They became friends after college in New York, and Martin brings Kyle to the event. However, Kyle doesn't come alone. Jack and Diana are with him. Elsewhere, Abby and Devin also land on the VIP list. Devin gets pulled into a conversation by Anita Dupree. Later, she hints at a business opportunity that he didn't expect. The event has the energy of a normal high-profile gathering. However, something shocking happened in the evening, and it throws the entire fundraiser off track. The show is set in a wealthy part of Maryland, close to Washington, D.C., and the Dupree family is at the center. They hold power, history, and status. Moreover, people inside and outside the gates also watch their every move. On the outside, the location looks serene. The series is about people who have reached the pinnacle, as well as people who aspire to be at the same level. And they are all living in the same tight circle. For more Beyond the Gates spoilers and updates, keep following Soap Opera Daily. The drama at Fairmont Crest is getting intense this Wednesday, January 28, 2026. In the upcoming episode of Beyond the Gates, the fancy lifestyle of Maryland's elite is being rocked by marital suspicion, family exile, and a cold-blooded scheme that could change the power dynamics of the Dupree family forever. As everyone prepares for the upcoming crossover events and charity galas, the personal lives of our favorite characters are unraveling spectacularly. Disclaimer: this article is based on speculations and may contain spoilers. Beyond the Gates spoilers for January 28th, 2026. Martin questions Smitty. A marriage on thin ice. The primary focus of today's Beyond the Gates spoilers involves the growing rift between Martin Richardson and his husband Smitty. Martin is used to having a sense of control over his environment. However, that control is slipping as he notices Smitty's increasingly erratic behavior and frequent absences. Smitty has been knee-deep in an investigative reporting project involving a dangerous plasma trafficking ring, a case so sensitive that Jacob Hawthorne has had to go undercover to infiltrate it. Spoilers suggest Martin questions Smitty about where he spent the previous night. The tension is palpable as Martin demands the truth, forcing Smitty to decide between his journalistic integrity and the stability of his marriage. Will Smitty come clean about the plasma ring, or will another lie push this fan-favorite couple to the breaking point? Vernon gets kicked out. Anita takes a stand. Vernon Dupree has always been a pillar of strength, but his recent behavior has crossed the line from protective to overbearing. Following Anita's collapse after her chemotherapy session, Vernon has been micromanaging every second of her recovery. While his actions stem from deep love, Anita is a woman who values her autonomy above all else. Feeling smothered by her husband's constant surveillance, Anita reaches her limit. In a move that shocks the household, Vernon is kicked out. For Anita, this isn't just about space. It's a desperate plea for Vernon to find his own identity again rather than being consumed by her illness. Nicole Dupree Richardson has made a concerted effort to welcome Eva into the family fold. She believes in evolving past old grudges for the sake of unity. However, her daughter, Kat, is having none of it. Kat remains fiercely territorial and refuses to acknowledge Eva as her sister. The friction peaks today when Nicole scolds Kat for her judgmental attitude and lack of empathy. Nicole doesn't mince words, delivering a blunt reality check that leaves Kat reeling. It is a rare moment where we see Nicole lose her professional cool, proving that even the most evolved mother has a breaking point when it comes to her children's behavior. Leslie sets a cunning trap. Further on, Beyond the Gates, Leslie Thomas has never been one to sit idly by while others climb the social ladder. And today, Leslie sets a cunning trap that is sure to have long-lasting consequences. The big question remains, who is her target? Is she aiming to leverage Joey Armstrong against the free clinic? Or is her sights set on Shanice, the nurse who is getting far too close to Teddy? Regardless of the intended victim, Leslie's tactical brilliance is on full display. In Beyond the Gates, Leslie's traps usually result in a complete shift in the social hierarchy. Tuesday's episode of Beyond the Gates was full of drama, tension, and surprising moments as relationships were tested and alliances shifted. Kat had an unexpected encounter at the Uptown bar. Nicole started connecting with a new man, and Madison and Chelsea faced challenges in their relationship. Joey took steps to protect Vanessa, and secrets continued to rise beneath the surface. Kat and her mother, Nicole, created early emotional conflict in the episode. Kat struggled with her mother's attempt to restart her social life while also trying to support her relationship with Tomas. Their talk showed that both women had feelings of insecurity and dependence. Personal and romantic problems collided in ways that were unpredictable. Nicole's meeting with Kial added a new romantic twist that made the situation even more complicated. Other storylines brought confrontations and heartfelt moments. Chelsea and Madison reached an important point in their relationship as they questioned what they really wanted from each other. Joey's protective actions toward Vanessa showed loyalty and tension. Bill and Haley's interactions brought out manipulation, desire, and trickery. With so many storylines happening at once, the episode offered romance, suspense, and character growth that kept viewers interested throughout. At Uptown, Kat's night changed suddenly when she saw her glamorous mother, Nicole, sitting at the bar. Before she could fully react, Kial came over and joined Nicole, making Kat feel uneasy. She worried about her mother getting close to a man who seemed almost too perfect, while also trying to handle her own feelings and stay composed with Tomas. Kat admitted that all the shifting dynamics made her feel vulnerable, and she thanked Tomas for being there for her. This moment showed just how complicated blended family relationships can be, especially when romance is involved. Nicole and Kial spent a time together over drinks, getting to know each other better. They joked around and talked about Carlton, which showed some competition and romantic tension. Nicole was open with Kial, letting him see her interest, while Kat watched with mixed feelings. Their meeting suggested that both were exploring new possibilities in a world full of surprises. The growing chemistry between them added excitement and intrigue to the evening. Madison and Chelsea's relationship hit a tough point as they talked about freedom, trust, and personal growth. Chelsea admitted she missed the independence she once had. Madison wondered if their differences were too big to overcome. The conversation became more serious when Chelsea made a sudden proposal that left Madison unsure. She realized that Chelsea's actions might be coming from fear, not love. Their honest talk showed how hard it can be to balance love with personal identity and highlighted the challenges of modern relationships. Joey showed how loyal he was when he faced Lance, the man who had bothered Vanessa. What began as a normal meeting quickly became a warning that Joey would not allow anyone to threaten her. Vanessa spent time with Danny and Lolly, handling bad behavior and forming a bond to protect each other. The episode showed Joey's determination to keep the people he cares about safe. It also proved how important loyalty and strength are, and what can happen if someone underestimates him. The episode ended with Bill and Haley involved in a mix of manipulation and desire. Haley tried to seduce Bill while he pretended to be asleep, which caused tension, frustration, and playful trickery. Andre's meeting with Haley made things more complicated, showing how romance and personal motives often clash. This storyline showed deception, hidden tension, and the power struggles that affect relationships on Beyond the Gates. The next 2 weeks on Beyond the Gates promise escalating tension and high-stakes drama across Fairmont Crest as personal choices and hidden agendas collide. From January 28th to February 6th, 2026, several characters face turning points that could permanently alter relationships and power dynamics. Chelsea Hamilton's risky behavior threatens to spiral out of control, setting the stage for emotional fallout and serious consequences. At the same time, romantic complications intensify as Nicole Dupree finds herself drawn deeper into a messy triangle at work, blurring professional and personal boundaries. Elsewhere, secrets and schemes drive the action, with Leslie Thomas laying calculated traps and Joey Armstrong making it clear he will protect his interests at any cost. Medical revelations also loom large, particularly for Bill Hamilton, whose troubling test results raise questions about betrayal and motive. Chelsea Hamilton's recent decision to experiment with drugs will have serious consequences over the next 2 weeks. Her live-in-the-moment mindset deepens, pushing her toward reckless behavior that alarms those closest to her. Madison Montgomery is disturbed by Chelsea's renewed interest in partying and refuses to enable it. Their relationship fractures as a result, leaving Chelsea without a stabilizing influence. By the time February sweeps arrive, Chelsea is no longer just dabbling. Her actions suggest a full-blown spiral that could damage her career, friendships, and health. The situation sets up emotional fallout and places Chelsea on a dangerous path with long-term implications. Bill Hamilton faces unsettling medical news when test results raise red flags. Dr. Madison Montgomery notices something abnormal, with signs that suggest poisoning may be involved. This discovery places intense pressure on Haley Hamilton, whose past desire to cash in on Bill's life insurance resurfaces as a serious concern. Haley must decide whether to act quickly, change course, or risk exposure. Bill's health scare creates suspicion and tension, especially as motives are quietly questioned. As the truth inches closer to the surface, this storyline blends medical drama with potential criminal consequences that could upend multiple lives. Leslie Thomas takes matters into her own hands as her resentment and fear collide. Ted Richardson's relationship with Shanice Johnson fuels Leslie's bitterness, making Shanice a possible target. At the same time, Joey Armstrong's hold over Leslie through a flash drive keeps her trapped. Leslie may attempt to steal it to regain control. Joey, meanwhile, is focused on enforcing boundaries. He plans to teach someone a lesson, likely tied to Lance Salander's confrontation with Vanessa McBride. As Vanessa also handles business her own way, power struggles intensify and alliances are tested. Jacob Hawthorne remains deeply committed to his undercover operation, spending long hours alongside Bradley "Smitty" Smith. Their all-nighter raises concern, especially when Smitty fails to come home. Martin Richardson grows increasingly uneasy, sensing danger. Tensions escalate further when Jacob clashes with his father, Police Chief Elon Hawthorne. Professional duty and family loyalty collide, creating emotional strain. Meanwhile, Naomi Hawthorne continues hiding her BRCA status from Jacob, leaning instead on Ashley Morgan for support. Secrets pile up, and the pressure surrounding this investigation hints that something significant is about to go wrong. Nicole Dupree embraces her independence, but quickly finds herself in complicated territory. After recently sleeping with Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald, she shares undeniable chemistry with Dr. Kial Rollins. Their connection heats up, leading to a passionate encounter during the February 2-6 stretch. While Nicole enjoys the attention and excitement, juggling two doctors in the same hospital creates inevitable complications. Workplace dynamics become increasingly awkward, and emotional lines blur. What begins as fun threatens to spiral into messy consequences, especially as Nicole tries to balance desire, professionalism, and honesty. Danny Dupree and Pamela Curtis approach Isaiah Hawthorne with a modeling opportunity tied to their agency. Isaiah must weigh the offer carefully as it coincides with growing tension in his personal life. Ongoing friction between Kat Richardson and Eva Thomas resurfaces, putting Isaiah in the middle. Eva's attitude during their latest disagreement frustrates him, opening the door for Kat to potentially influence the situation. At the same time, Kat and Chelsea prepare for Fenmore's pitch, hinting at a possible crossover as February sweeps approach. Old School is mixing it up with the new school. CBS announced that Beyond the Gates and The Young and the Restless will participate in a multi-episode crossover event. The network also debuted a new cast photo of the soap. Y&R stars Eric Braeden, Peter Bergman, Brighton James, Susan Walters, Melissa Ordway, and Michael Mealer will be mixing it up with the residents of Fairmount Crest. Longtime BFFs Vernon and Victor reunite at a high-profile political fundraiser at Fairmount Crest. It seems Victor has been backing Vernon's political aspirations and campaigns for years, as Vernon has backed legislation that benefits Newman Enterprises.